So either.
Quick word from FanDuel. We'll move on, talk a little Cavs. But Super Bowl season is upon us, and happy Super Bowl season from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, to everybody who celebrates. If you're like us, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. And FanDuel has a ton of different ways for you to end the season with not just one W, but 2, 3, 4, or hopefully many, many more. Not only can you bet on the winner of Super Bowl 58, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score touchdowns, how many points will be scored, and a ton of other props that are a lot of fun to gamble on. Right now, new customers who join today get $200 in bonus bets if the first bet of $5 or more wins. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to sign up. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook sponsor of the NFL. We had a bunch of winning tickets. This one came from Lamont Sanford, who adjusted 18 different lines on Championship Sunday, hit all 18, and with the adjusted lines, turned $1 into $85. So 1 into 85. Hell of a win there for Lamont Sanford on an 18-part parlay.
18.
The NBA All-Star rosters get announced tomorrow
That's
night.
how we do it. 20 and above.
No, that's the new G.
That's the
Bush
new
method.
thing. 20. Me and Tyvis is 20 and above.
I got 18 out of 20 last night. I'll about cry.
You might as well got 1 out of
2
20.
points. Tyrese Halliburton couldn't give me 2 more.
Don't it hurt
points,
your heart? Don't you?
And Drew couldn't give me 1 more assist.
Hey, bro, my
Like,
heart
come
breaks. My
on,
heart breaks for
man.
you, bro. I was there.
Well, speaking of potential heartbreak, Cavaliers fans could be in for it tomorrow night if Jarrett Allen does not get named to the Eastern Conference All-Star team. The question today isn't, do you think he will or will not? The question is, do you think he deserves one of the 7 reserve spots on the Eastern Conference All-Star roster?
Yes.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
Emphatic. Okay.
Yeah. Listen.
Ty, why?
Because if you lose Evan Mobley and Darius Garland,
That's not a good reason.
Yes, it is. You lose 2 star players off of your lineup, your team should go down. And this Cavs team started off slow. And everybody said that they was done. Like, it's over with. Don't even watch them. They're not going to be the same. And this man right here raised his play to become one of the best big men in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, the man is a walking double-double every night. And he's become – actually, it's been games where he's been the direct reason why they've won games. So, yes, he deserves to be an All-Star.
Man, you know what? I'm going to go on record. So, you see, I believe you got to do this. When you critically – go at somebody and you attack them as hard as I attacked Jarrett Allen. You do that in public, you got to give them their flowers in public because he's turned his whole game around. Last year, I called him soft. He was soft batch cookies. Let's see, Keebler Toll House cookies, you know what I'm saying? And the ones that you put together at Christmas time with your little girl's Tyvis, he was soft as those cookies. And I'm going to tell you what, he came back and he did his thing. He's been rebounding the basketball. He's touching the ball more. He's stepped his game up, and he's been one of the catalysts for this new change in how they go about playing basketball. He's been more aggressive under the basket. Look at that, 65% field goal percentage. He's dunking everything by the rim. And so Jarrett Allen, I'm gonna tell you what, shout out to you. Because I don't know if you heard us after you said that statement, maybe the Bryce is a little too light.
I can't believe you said that.
You came back and said, you know what, let me just put this work in. You ain't say nothing, you just put the work in. And I believe right now he's playing like one of the best centers in the league. Look what he did against the Clippers. Look what he did against Giannis. He holds his own and getting his 20 and 10. And I think right now he's definitely should be a guy that should be in the All-Star game.
I watched the Cavs. I've seen very little NBA this year outside of the Cavs, so I'm not qualified to say. I can say this. To me, my eye test, he looks like an all-star. But before I can definitively put him on the team, I'd have to measure all the other guys that are in front of him or his equal, and I can't go in depth on that knowledge. So he looks like an all-star. I think he should be an all-star, but I can't say he definitely deserves to be an all-star.
I would say the same thing as Jay, that I can't do it myself. So what I did was I read a column from Ben Golliver, who writes for, Ben Golliver, Mike?
Yeah.
Was it Washington Post or something?
Yep. Smart guy.
So I was looking for articles about Jarrett Allen, and all the articles were from Cleveland writers. And I'm like, well, I can't read those because they're all biased, and they may not be watching the other teams. I need a national reporter's opinion on this. So I read a column from Ben Golliver, and he was saying who he thought should be on the All-Star team. and he thought that Jarrett Allen should be on the All-Star team. So I'm going with Ben Golliver because he knows better than me. So I'm going to vote for Jarrett Allen.
No, I
should be on
mean, the people that it's between, it was Bam, Paolo,
Yeah, so
Julius
these are the four.
Randle,
So
and Kristaps. I mean, all four of them is playing really good basketball as well.
What's interesting, Mike, is that a couple of weeks ago, I feel like you thought he had almost no chance to make it, and now you think he might, or I don't know. What do you say?
I think so. The question is, he deserving of an All-Star spot? In a vacuum, yes, he's playing at an All-Star level.
Right.
But there's 7 spots, and most likely Joel Embiid's the starting center.
Yeah.
He's voted in. That's unquestionable. He'd have to get in over one of these next 4 guys, and probably if I'm ranking of the 5, I probably have him third. You look at the stats, Steve, take 175 full. Bam Adebayo has been the number 1 player on Miami this season. The stats are almost comparable. Both great defensive players. And he's
Bam's
their
numbers
number
are
1
better.
option. And Jimmy Butler's only played half the game, so he doesn't have a Donovan Mitchell counterpart. You go to Paolo Banchero, go down
Done
one,
with
Steve.
Bam. He can't get on my parlay.
Ban-
But the
Banchero's-
Cavs have a much better record than
They
Miami.
do. They do. And once again, these are all deserving players. I'm just looking at these from a side-by-side. Banchero's scoring numbers are a little better. His rebounds a little lower. Nowhere near the defender Jarrett Allen is. But Orlando's been kind of the surprise of the Eastern Conference this year. I would guess that voters want to put one guy from the Magic in. That's not how it should work, but
Right.
it's how it typically does. And then you got Porzingis and Randle might even be, I know he's hurt right now, but take 178, Steve. You can skip Porzingis. But if you go to 178, Julius Randle's having statistically a phenomenal season, averaging 24 points, 9.5 rebounds.
Yeah, that's.
You know, the competition is very stiff
Man,
for a
I
front
didn't
court
realize
spot.
Randall was scoring that much.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's having a really good season.
Ain't he hurt?
Yeah, but-
hurt now.
You know, I think the Knicks are the only team of the teams you put up there that have a better record than the Cavs.
For the Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis played for.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
oh,
Porzingis, I can't imagine they want to put 3 Celtics in.
Yeah.
I don't think Porzingis will make it.
I do think I was busting Travis's balls. I almost called you Travis there for a second. I don't know why.
That's a common mistake.
But I've never made it before. I've known you for a year and a half.
People have.
But I
It's
think
actually his real name.
You look at
First real
Jarrett
name.
Allen's
Travis.
play. He's right, ultimately. You look at Jarrett Allen. Like, the Cavs were not playing great basketball before Darius and Mobley got hurt.
Yeah.
And so you would have thought once they got hurt, they'd play even worse. Instead, it went the opposite direction. And while Donovan Mitchell deserves a ton of credit for that, the next guy that deserves the most credit is Jarrett Allen. And last 25 games, he's averaging 16.5 and 12.5. 3 and a third assists for a center. Look at the shooting. And the Cavs have the number 3 defense in the league since Mobley and Garland went down. They have the number 3 defense, and he's the biggest reason why for that. So the Cavs are a good team. So I would put him in.
McNuggets, where's Jarrett Allen in the plus minus as far as defenses go? Like, because I'm trying to cook up a defensive angle. On face value, I want to say Jarrett Allen is a better defender than all those guys you mentioned.
You can talk about
No,
that.
However,
Bam
Adebayo is the closest
Bam
one.
Adebayo's
Are
a
you
defender.
you talking about defense in the All-Star game?
I'm just
Well,
trying.
nobody's going to play defense.
No, I'm just
that
saying.
should go into why he makes it.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah.
going into why he could.
Yeah, but if defense is your strength, that's an argument to leave you off the NBA All-Star team.
Right, but his points and rebounds have been fantastic.
I'm giving him. That's why I'm giving
Yeah.
him credit for it. But the defensive part, listen, the score is going to be 176 to,
I mean,
120.
I'm just
or
making-
169.
I'm just
like
making
that.
an argument why he would make the All-Star team
Right.
over somebody else.
So this year, G, and defensive win shares is probably the closest thing you could get to like a defensive rating. I'll go him versus Bam. They're almost identical in defensive metrics this year. Jarrett Allen's a 2.2 win share this season defensively. They've played the same. Bam's played 1 less game, so you're looking at the same sample size. Bam's 2.1, Jarrett's 2.2, which is essentially exactly the same. And their defensive box score plus minus is both in the 1.5 to 1.9 range, which is a negligible difference. So
yeah,
Bam can't get on my parlay.
Where is the game this year?
he got me.
it's in Indianapolis.
He on the
Oh, wow.
list.
had a nerve
Short little car ride for us.
had a nerve to
Yeah.
get
So
So
four-
he's got a
4
legit
points
shot.
one
What
game.
would you say, 50-50 chance or no, lower than that?
I'd say lower.
So like I said, there's 7 reserve spots. It's voted on by coaches. So this is just a coach vote.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I guess every coach would do this differently. Are you putting guys in who are going to put on the best show, Are you putting guys in?
I don't think
to
coaches
win?
care about that, do they?
No, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would. I'd be surprised just because of the quality of guards in the Eastern Conference. And you're looking at if you're going to get another center in. I can't put them over. I can't see them taking 2 centers on 7 reserve spots is my issue.
No,
So I
only
think-
one center.
I think Jarrett Allen gets squeezed out and probably makes it in. And I know Randall's not a real center. And I think his best bet to make the roster is Randall gets an all-star spot. He's hurt right now. He won't participate.
Oh, and
Allen
then he takes
gets
that
the
spot.
injury reserve spot.
You might be right there.
But he's playing at an all-star level. It's not like he's not playing at the level to make an all-star game.
Not
I'm
a
just
lot of
not
spots.
Sure if the spots meet their criteria. And on the Western Conference, there's going to be a really, really good guard who gets less off the spot. And on Friday morning, you're going to see player X got snubbed.
Sure.
And it could be Steph Curry. Just throwing it out there.
Surprised
Steph
they
Curry
haven't
missed the All-Star
increased
game.
to 15.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they
That's
should.
not-
I think
that's
they
not-
should too. But
That's
then
never
again,
gonna
you
happen.
cut the playing time of the real stars,
Yeah.
and that's who the players want to see.
Steph Curry
The Warriors
getting
are
snipped.
below
Yeah, okay.
500, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, let me just real quick on the Steph thing because Earl just looked at me. He's not a starter. Most likely, 3 of these 4 guards are going to get in, and one's not. Steph, Booker, De'Aaron Fox, and there's one more. I'm drawing a blank off the top of my
Okay,
head.
then he's the guy that doesn't make it because if you can't remember his
Anthony
name.
Edwards. Anthony Edwards.
Oh, Anthony Edwards
Edwards.
is on. I don't
Yeah.
know what
So
you
one of those- one of those
Anthony
coaches
Edwards
leave
is
out
going to
Steph
be
Curry,
in
though.
That's
there.
the point.
He's
His coaches
starting.
know this is the fans' game.
Swiper getting left off.
Whether or
and
not
it
he's
sucks.
having a typical Steph Curry year or not, one of the most entertaining players to watch in the league, love him or hate him, is Steph Curry.
I agree.
Particularly in the All-Star game, because that dude will post up from behind half court and shoot at least 1 3-pointer in that game.
I'm just
And
saying,
fans
one of
love
those
that.
4 guards
Swiper
is probably
getting-
not going
Swiper
to make it,
getting
and
left
they're all
off, and
having
that's- it's
all-star
unfortunate.
caliber.
No, they are.
seasons.
You're right, though. That's a logjam at guards.
By
in
the way, do you
West.
guys know who's in first place in the Western Conference right now?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, it is.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they're having a
Oklahoma
great year.
City still
First
too?
place.
Oklahoma
And that's why
City's
Anthony Edwards
number
probably
2.
has to get in.
Anthony
'cause
Edwards
he's-
has to get in.
No,
He's
he's
so
in.
good.
Anthony Edwards is in.
So
Yeah.
those 4, who you leaving out?
They got the
I
second.
told
I'm not
you.
leaving Steph out.
I agree. I'm just saying
Now
one of
the
those
top-
guys. is gonna be
De'Aaron
crazy.
Fox is not going to make
That's
it,
probably
even
the-
though he deserves it.
Top
He's
4
probably
teams
the
in the
odd man
West
out.
are all within 2 games. Minnesota,
really
Denver,
competitive.
OKC, and the Clippers.
And to your point that you always love to make, it's the regular season. I don't anoint any champions in the regular season.
No.
I think Minnesota's there. It's kind of a shock to a lot
And-
of people.
and
but
he playing in
let's-
Sacramento?
At the end of the year, let's see
Yeah,
if
he ain't
Minnesota's in
getting
the
in.
NBA Finals. Then
Gotta-
I'd be impressed.
By the way, interesting on the Cavs. Remember last year there was this massive home road differential with the Cavs?
Yes.
Like that
Yes.
was such a big storyline, and I hadn't really
Same
been
thing
paying
with the
attention to it.
Browns.
At home, they're 16-8. On the road, they're 12-8. So they're better at home, but it's not the disparity that it was. I mean, they sucked
yeah.
on the road last
They
year.
needed to become a better road team. So
And they
I'm
got
glad
a
to see that.
600 winning percentage on the road.